We shared last week that Charleston has a new Poet Laureate after our friend Marcus Amaker's tenure ended last summer. On this Martin Luther King Day, we'd like to welcome back iahMae, Charleston's new Poet Laureate. Great to have you back.
Thanks for having me again.
So we were talking a bit about just what you endeavor to do as Charleston's Poet Laureate, the second ever to be, and you do plan on making a big impact on the community. Maybe just you could remind our audience what that looks like.
Well, I look to push Charleston forward as an incubator space for the arts. Like, I want people to have access and resources to things so that they can grow and stay here as artists.
And it takes someone with that kind of leadership to get a community, bring a community together, to go towards a certain goal. And certainly Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did just that on a national, global level, I would say. In remembrance and observance of today's holiday, how does that impact you, and what are your thoughts?
Well, I haven't really been impacted by MLK Day in the past few years, honestly, just because it's gotten so far away from what it originally meant. I feel like people forget how long and hard people fought for that day to become. I would really enjoy if people got back to remembering who MLK was and digging deeper than just his "I Have a Dream" speech.
And I think that's a profound notion, because it's like with so many holidays that have deep, deep meaning. Just take Christmas, for instance, or some of these other holidays. It's not just a day off from work. It's not just an excuse to go shopping, but to really understand and appreciate why we observe, why we pay attention to the person for which this holiday was named. And so you say in our society today that that's just gotten lost.
Yeah, you know, it's usually, we hear the "I Have a Dream" speech, you know, kids have a day off, people have a day off, there's parades, and that's beautiful, but, you know, I think we really should deep dive into who that person was, you know.
And to walk in his footsteps as well, because, and for people, how would you recommend that people try to do that? What are some of the characteristics that would be embodied in Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that people could take with them in every day of their lives?
To think and take care of other people, to be part of community, to know that it's not about mobilization, it's about organization, and to really look for that in their communities.
And you feel that it's just become too commercial at this point, and and what about for the Black community, though? I mean, do you also critique maybe the way they observe or not observe the holiday?
Well, I can't really speak for the Black community. I'm only one member, but I think that we all have flaws with the way that we celebrate holidays, and that everything can be critiqued.
And to not take things for granted either.
Exactly.
Right. So what would your advice be moving forward? So today is just one of many MLK days to come. So what would you advise, what would you recommend people think about as they observe this holiday?
I just implore everyone to do their research, to really, again, deep dive into who Martin Luther King Jr. was as a person, not just as a public figure, but, you know, he was a very complex being. He lived a very interesting and unique life that was committed to service, and I think that everyone could take a page out of his book.
That is a great note to end on. Thank you so much, iahMae. It's great to see you again.
Thanks again for having me.
We're back after this.